So you've been learning about big history, and you've been looking at some of these thresholds, and you've been looking at it kind of, why do we look at things from far away and close up? So we're going to do a football field activity to put that into perspective. So these are our lesson objectives. So we need to learn to use timelines as a way to compare the scale of historical events. And most importantly, by the end of this lesson or going into next lesson, we really want to know, what does scale mean to you? What does it mean to your life? What does it mean to big history? What is the power of scale? So the scale that we're working with today, or the components of that scale, are these thresholds, starting at the Big Bang, going to the modern revolution. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at big history scale. Threshold 1, the Big Bang, where everything that we know of begins, our current understanding. That's the first point, the first bit of time ever in our universe, all the way through to today. So if we got a scale and we went outside on the field and we said, right, here's 0 meters. This is the beginning of the universe. And at 100 meters, that is today, okay, the 17th of February. Where would those thresholds fit? Where would they be, those thresholds 2 to 8? I say not 1 because obviously if the first moment of our universe is the Big Bang, we can put that on the 0 meter line. Does that make sense? Okay, so where would you put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8? Where would you put the stars light up? The first stars in the universe light up. How long ago after the Big Bang on a scale of a football field? What about these new chemical elements? What about the Earth and the solar system? What about life, the first life that ever existed? When did that occur on this scale? Did life occur really quickly after the Big Bang, or was it a lot later? Where do you think? So I've made a conjecture. I had a go and I put my numbers in. You just have to write the numbers 1 to 8 somewhere on this sheet in the top bit here. Okay, right, now, we're going to start thinking a bit differently. You just based that on your intuition, okay? You based it on your gut instinct. Now we're going to be using a bit of logic to support us, okay, through the lens of maths. So what we've got here is a threshold placement calculator. So to work out exactly where these thresholds should go on a scale of 0 to 100 meters, we're going to use the following calculation. Okay, so this is the template. So what I've done, this number stays constant. It doesn't matter if I'm doing this threshold 1 or threshold 5. This top number stays constant. This number that I subtract changes depending on what number is here. So I'm simply taking this number and I've written it there. So here we go. This is kind of what it looks like. If you want to get your calculator out and have a go as well, that would be good. I'm going to go over the second one and then you can have a go at the third yourselves. Again, please use your calculators. And if you're having problems, I can come and help you in a minute. 13.8 billion. Subtract. This number this time is 13.6 billion. Yep, there we go. So that is 200 million. So you should have on your calculator 200 million. That's 2 with 8 zeros. I'm now going to divide that by 138, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And my answer is 1.449275362. Have I written that on the board? What have I written? Why do you think I did that? Yeah, rounded it up. I thought, okay, I'll round it up to 2 decimal places. I don't have to use 2 decimal places. I could use 3 or 4. But I thought that'd be sensible. Could you now have a go at this one? Working in pairs, talk to each other, but you've got to include the zeros. Let's just look at this difference and think about it. So this is a meter, yeah? If we go to 1/10 of a meter, what's 1/10 of a meter? 10 centimeters. What about 100th of a meter?
1 centimeter.
So the difference between these numbers is what? It's going to be less than centimeters. We're talking about less than millimeters potentially as well. So what does that tell you about these flagpoles and their positions in the ground?
They're very close to each other and happens in a short period.
Yes, certainly. So we're going to have to be very precise. We're going to have to look at this very, very close up angle or focus to ensure we can understand that. Guys, when you're ready to start, I'll create the Big Bang for you. I've got a starter pistol.
Oh, yay!
Okay, prepare for the start, the Big Bang, the beginning of the universe.
guys.
That's probably.
And this is where we learned to farm, began to gather and grow things to feed ourselves properly. What's the next one? The modern revolution.
Hey, right in front.
Oh, fine. And this is where the modern revolution, guys. This is where we learned how to build things like factories, began to produce things, travel, get around with modes of transport and stuff. Okay. And what's the next one?
That's it.
This is where we are now.
Well, that's the future. So where's the future, guys? Because, I mean, where we are now technically would be so close to those other three, wouldn't it, really? So where would the future go? If you could place that one now, is the next threshold, which we don't know what it is, but it'd be a big event that completely changed the world as we know it, complexity where we could never go back again, is that going to be close by? Is that going to be far away? What do you think and why? Why? What are you basing that on?
Global warming.
Okay, so you think in the threshold 9, global warming is going to be a big factor. So guys, next lesson, what I would like you to do, if that's okay, Mr. Andrews, is really reflect on your conjecture of what you thought the distances would be and why they're different, what's interesting about that. I want you to think about that future threshold as well. And finally, I suppose, really reflect on this activity. How has this helped you or not helped you understand scale? Well, how has this kind of related to you personally? Because if we're talking about the future being that close by, with global warming or climate change happening in the next 50 years, that will affect you in your lifetime. So although those things might not directly feel like they're related to you, okay, this big history has happened way before your time, we're talking about one of these crucial thresholds happening in your lifetime. But could you just walk back that way, and when you get between those two posts, perhaps just stop and reflect on those distances, okay?
We'll just also thank Mr.